Hi everyone, I'm Marci Narum, and this is the Inspiration Spotlight with Inspired Woman magazine. My guest today is Jeannie Masseth, the founder of Legacy Talent Development. Hi Jeannie.
Thank you for joining me in my home studio. This is fantastic.
Yes, well, we can't beat a river view and sunshine, so.
And hanging out with you and being in the likes of your Inspired Woman audience. So thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. So the idea with Inspiration Spotlight is that when you have something to sell and a story to tell. And so that's what we're here today to talk about. And just to start off, you founded Legacy Talent Development. Tell us when and what it's all about.
Yes. So I've been in learning and development for more years than I'd like to count at this point, but I've always been really a student and a teacher at the same time, right? And so I've had this incredible journey of lots of learning and development in my own life. And I got to the point in my career where I was like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. How can I sort of be the catalyst to help other businesses and other individuals be the best version of themselves? And so that's the spawn, if you will, or that's when Legacy Talent Development was really born. And the idea is that we're helping leaders leave a legacy and businesses leave a legacy, because I think at the end of the day, that's what we all want.
Right.
And that's what we hope to accomplish in our work.
And by the looks of things, doing well.
Yes. Well,
Growing.
it's growing. It's fantastic. We have really zoned into a few different areas. One is in the professional mentoring space, and the other one is, of course, looking at formal peer advisory boards, whether that be internal through an organization or external through a vetted board. So mentoring has been my love for a long time. Of course, we've all had mentors in our lives, right? We've all had those professionals who have really elevated us and allowed us to be on the fast track in some area of our life.
Do you want to tell us just a little bit about your professional, a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been, in undergrad, I've had this love of industrial organizational psychology, right? So how does psychology work in business and industry, and of course with the employer and the employee. Went on to get my master's in HR, and then worked in higher ed for many years on the continuing education side of the house. So I was always blessed to work with these incredible clients, industry clients, who wanting training, development, some type of professional avenues for their employees. So that was really my first taste of mentoring when an organization with a regional footprint came to us at the time and said, hey, we want to start this workplace mentoring program. And we're like, let's make it happen. So that, Marci, was over 17 years ago in mentoring.
Do you find that mentoring has, in the past, been seen as something that happens accidentally, and now it's more of an intentional practice?
That's a great point, right? We've all had mentors that were informal, right? And that we had a chemistry with, and they may have lasted a season in our lives, or they may have lasted many, many years. However, adding some structure to that puts a little bit more learning tension on the relationship in terms of we've got some goals to accomplish, we've got some knowledge that we want to acquire, as well as building the relationship. So informal mentoring is alive and well in every organization, I believe, right? And the formality of it, or the structure at least, just helps propel those relationships and that learning in the workplace.
And that's part of what you provide, this workplace mentoring training?
Yes.
So
yes, that's a great question. So my role is to really be the driver of the mentoring program, right? So I'm helping the organization design what exactly does this look like in terms of our formal mentoring structure, and more importantly, what does the organization want to gain out of mentoring? So if we're looking at tackling turnover issues or employee retention issues, and transferring institutional knowledge is a big piece of that. What we find is that we have folks who are going to retire who have been with us a long, long time, or folks with very specific subject matter expertise, and they're like the golden, they have these golden nuggets, and how do we get other folks to acquire that knowledge? And we know that 87% of millennials, the number one thing that they want in the workplace is professional development. And so to allow them to have sort of a partner in the organization as well as a learning catalyst that they will learn and grow from is a huge perk to offer those millennials in the workplace and everyone in the workplace. I feel like we all need mentors in the workplace.
87%, that's got to be music to your ears.
Well, I think mentoring speaks volumes in terms of what people like, because not only do mentees gravitate towards the programs, but mentors will oftentimes say, you know what, I think I'm learning more than my mentee is. I remember one mentor said, I walked into the relationship and I kind of threw my name in the hat because I thought I have a lot to teach and I have a lot of knowledge. But what she found out was that she gained just as much and learned. She goes, I think I learned more than my mentee because I'm finding out a lot about different perspectives and the new folks that we have in the organization and the upcoming leaders that we have within the business. And she also mentioned it's a great way to indirectly pay back her mentors that she had in her life. So not to mention it's a lot of fun. We cultivate those relationships. So part of it is the design of the initiative. What is the organization wanting to get out of the program? And the other piece is, of course, how do we give folks the playlist, right? What is it that we need to sustain those relationships so it might happen organically and not fade away after that? So we have a playlist of resources, tools, support that we're continually allowing to or giving mentors and mentees throughout the initiative.
Let's talk about the peer advisory boards.
You could sort of think about it as a personal success team meets a personal board of directors, right? And who doesn't want a personal board of directors, right? A team of folks that are going to hold us accountable for elevating ourselves professionally. So that next level, attaining that next level, but also folks that are going to be our champions, those folks that we surround ourselves with that are going to elevate us and be our biggest supporters, but then also give us a kick in the pants if we're getting off track, right? So a peer advisory board is simply a group of high caliber folks that intentionally meet on an ongoing basis to support each other.
How many of these have you been guiding? Is that the
gosh.
right?
Oh gosh. Well, several. They take different forms and formats, right? Okay. So internally, an organization might say we have a group of folks that we want to collaborate with and bring together to work more closely with and to really help each other sort out their challenges and opportunities. And oftentimes when I say challenges, it's business challenges that are zooming out, right? We're all putting out fires on a day-to-day basis and sort of in our own zone, but how do we take the opportunity to kind of zoom out on our careers and our professions and look at our strategic issues that we have on the docket versus the more tactical. So we're being that support for each other.
But are there others that take a different form?
Right, that's a great question. So the external peer advisory board is an external vetted board of high achieving, high caliber business professionals. And that board members are chosen by the other members. So what I find is that high achievers really always want to go to the next level, right? Always want to set the next goal. Yep. And so part of the peer advisory board is having someone to celebrate those goals with. And in addition to saying, I want to be held accountable for this, and I want to take action on this, and be really cognizant of our goals and achieving those goals and be held accountable for them.
3 years, you must have some good stories.
Oh gosh, lots and lots of good stories about accomplishments that peer advisory board members have achieved, right? So many goals knocked out of the park, lots of promotions, lots of next steps in careers professionally. I think one of my favorites is a gentleman that came to me. He was on the board at that point for a year, and he came to me and he said, you know, I barely remember a time where I wasn't a part of this board because it's had such an incredible impact on me professionally. It changes the way I work with my employees. It changes the way I view my staff. It changes the way I hear and communicate with them. But it's also impacted my communication at home, right? I have a better relationship with my wife. I have a better relationship with my kids. And so it's just impacted him in every realm you can think of. Yeah.
What is it about a peer advisory board that can have that kind of impact?
I think it's the confidential conversations and the trust. So that trust takes some time to build, but once we have it, it's really incredible on what it can do for our careers. And we have those conversations around our business challenges, right? We all have challenges that we're tackling on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes we'll overcome one challenge, especially when we get to a certain level in our career, and the next week holds a completely different challenge that we didn't anticipate. And oftentimes we're at the level where we can't have those conversations with anybody but except maybe the CEO, or maybe we are the CEO and we've tried having them with ourselves and it doesn't always have the greatest outcome, but also the opportunities, right? When there's a new avenue of we need to make a new hire, or we need to add someone to our team, or we need to restructure, all of these incredible opportunities, and fleshing out all those ideas and coming up with the best possible solutions as a team is really impactful.
And maybe somebody has had that experience and can share some insight on what didn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. We're giving pointers on what works, but we're also giving pointers on like, here's what hasn't worked. Here's some landmines we might want to navigate.
Yeah, excellent. Jeannie, why is this work important to you? Because your passion comes spilling out when you talk about this.
Oh gosh. Well, it is incredible to help organizations have more competitive businesses, right? Not only on the financial front, but more competitive employees. That's how we, at the end of the day, in my opinion, are going to make a difference. And it's like a win-win, right? The organizations win, the businesses win, because they're more competitive, they're more productive, and employees are more engaged. They're happier. They say, this is where I want to be because I've made some really strong connections and I trust the people I work with, or I trust my mentors and my mentees, however that may look. And so it's like everyone wins.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly rewarding to be a part of.
I think it's important to point out that, there's life coaching, and then there's what you do, and it's much different.
Sort of a natural outgrowth of mentoring and the peer-to-peer groups is professional coaching, or what I call executive coaching. So that's more one-on-one, right? Where we are really digging in deep and looking at how do I achieve the next level. And one-on-one coaching is great for high achievers. It's great for folks in transition in terms of have been a great individual contributor. I've been an excellent technical expert, and now I'm going to be leading a team, right? And now I've been promoting to that next step. And so how do I make the most of that and make some really solid decisions, but become very self-aware in the interim? So we focus purely on the professional level and being the catalyst to that next level. Even if folks, a lot of my coachees are, gosh, they're like, this is the pinnacle, right? This is where I hope to be. And now how do I become even a better version of myself and a better version of me professionally? It's pretty awesome.
Great work that you do. How do people get in touch with you? What's the best way to get started if they're interested in, being part of a peer advisory board or some workplace mentoring or executive coaching?
Yeah, so of course our website, legacytalentdevelopment.com. You can find us on LinkedIn, and we also have a Facebook page under Legacy Talent Development.
Personal and professional development is something, I embrace, and I think the women who follow Inspired Women are definitely interested in this as well. So I appreciate you taking time.
It's a privilege to be among all of the inspired women that you have interviewed and invited to be a part of Inspired Women. So thank you for having me.